Most of you would have heard of a nurse being viciously beaten by a man now identified as a businessman, which have sent shockwave throughout the entire country of Jamaica. Hi again and welcome. This is Links 007 TV Let's Talk, and we're about to discuss this on the program. If it's the first time you're watching, please remember to like, share, subscribe to our channel. Click that notification bell and click on all so you're always updated with our latest report. We'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back and thanks for joining us for the program. This is Links 007 TV Let's Talk. This is the place where we discuss issues of national importance, global importance, or those situations that are buzzing in the news. So as most of you might have heard about the vicious beating of a nurse, and I can tell you that this has sent shockwave throughout the entire country. But when we look on what is going on as it relates to the respect for our professionals, such as our teachers, nurses, doctors, and the list goes on, people are not showing respect to these people anymore, and it just goes to show you how society has changed over time. But this still does not give anyone the right to physically abuse another individual, especially in a case such as what happened here. So there have been viral videos circulating on the internet of a nurse being viciously beaten by a man now identified as a businessman. And I can tell you that this video was just so heart-wrenching to saw this individual dealing with the nurse in such a vicious manner. At one point in the video, the nurse could be heard shouting out, "Why are you doing this to me?" And I can tell you that this is just as such many people have been traumatized based on the video. Now, the man at the center of this, media, I believe that depicts him beating this female severely, and even though others try to intervene, he still continue for a period of time. So the man allegedly seen in a viral video viciously assaulting a nurse along a roadway in Mount Airy, St. Andrew on Tuesday has been slapped with 5 charges according to the police. So charged now with this incident is Robert Bell, otherwise called Andy Bell, a businessman of a St. Andrew address. When I first saw the video, I was in total shock and in disbelief. And now to see this individual being identified as this man who is said to be 65 years old, who should be upholding the law of the land and guiding individuals in a right direction, he's the one committing such a vicious act. At one point in time, this individual also pulled his firearm, and I believe that was one of the reasons why others did not intervene into the whole entire situation. Based on my own personal assumption of the video, it's very clear that this individual might have been intoxicated, because there is no way or in this point on earth that this man could be in his right senses at this point in time and handling a female, not only a female, but a member of our healthcare system who we cherish so much. And there have been public outcry about this whole entire situation that happened to this nurse, and the nurse is now getting a number of support from all different individuals in order just to express their sadness to her as it relates to what transpired. So the police commenced an investigation, and also the Firearm Licensing Authority of Jamaica has since commenced an investigation into the matter. The man's firearm has been taken from him and he has been taken into custody. I was so angry when I saw this video and know the man identified as Mr. Robert Bell. Mr. Bell, I want to ask you, a matter of fact, I'm not even going to put any Mr. on your name. I'm going to call you a boy Bell because that's what you deserve. So Bell, why did you have to do such a vicious act to the nurse? Because your name don't deserve any Mr. on it. It just goes to show you the level of moral that you have within you. And because you had a licensed firearm, you used that to your advantage in order to overpower this female. Boy Bell, because that's what you deserve to be called. Don't you have a mother? Don't you have sisters? Don't you have aunts, cousins? Would you want someone to handle a family member of yours in such a manner? And then this has been blown up on social media. Can you just imagine how that nurse must have felt traumatized, the way you humiliated her and drove fear into this woman's life? This might cause her to be traumatized for the rest of her life. I hope that the authorities put the full extent of the law on you because you don't deserve to walk free. And I'm hoping and praying that the judge that looks over this case not even consider of granting you bail. So the Minister of Health, Dr. Christopher Tufton, took the time to weigh in on the issue, and this was what he had to say. But before I actually get into what Mr. Tufton had to say, many people have been wondering what really transpired that led to this, and I'm about to share that with you now. It's reported that the nurse was on her way to work at a corporate area medical facility when on reaching a section of a roadway she encountered a motorist driving recklessly ahead of her in a Mercedes-Benz. The nurse's efforts to went around him proved unsuccessful. Both vehicles came to a halt. It's further reported that the man spat in the face of the nurse twice before dragging her from her vehicle. After this was when the vicious assault of the nurse took place, which was captured on video. Other people could be seen in the video trying to stop this man, but he was in such a rage that he just continued.
The incident that took place involving our healthcare worker must be condemned as a heinous, brutal act, and we must ensure that the law takes its course and the perpetrators or perpetrator should be punished to the full extent of the law. At this point, the health system through the University Hospital of the West Indies is providing care to our healthcare worker, and I've reached out to her relatives and will continue to offer whatever support is necessary for her full and speedy recovery. In the meantime, I urge all of us to recognize the importance of our healthcare workers, the essential nature of the service they provide, the fact that they have to be on the roads at all hours, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and that we provide the support that is required of them to get to work on time and to help them to achieve the life-saving purpose for which they were trained and that they're committed to. Again, I condemn this act and hope that the consequences of those actions demonstrate in the full extent why this is unacceptable, while we continue to give support for the full recovery of our healthcare worker.
So that was the Minister of Health, Dr. Christopher Tufton, giving his opinion as it relates to what transpired to the nurse. So the nurse who was brutally assaulted by the motorist in Mount Airy, St. Andrew on Tuesday is said to be receiving medical treatment at the University Hospital of the West Indies. The update was given by Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton. So the nurse was reportedly on her way to work at a corporate area hospital when on reaching a section of a roadway she encountered a motorist driving recklessly ahead of her in a Mercedes-Benz. This individual, now identified as the old boy Robert Bell. The incident, which took place on Tuesday evening on Mount Friendship Road in Mount Airy, St. Andrew, was captured on video and posted on social media. In it, a man is seen tussling with a nurse who is dressed in a white tunic and white trousers. At one point, the man appears to lift the nurse, flipped her over and slammed her to the ground. The nurse could be heard crying out in agony. The video also shows the man dragging the nurse behind the right rear wheel of the car and standing on her head. In my own personal opinion, when the man stepped on this nurse's head, I felt it deep in my bones, and I can tell you that this man needs to be punished for his actions. How could you have done such a thing to a nurse, and a female at that? And the fact that you had a gun in your hand gave you that power and that drive to prolong this thing for a number of minutes. So the man now that the police have charged has been identified as Robert Bell, otherwise called Andy Bell, a businessman of St. Andrew. So the old boy Bell has been charged with assault occasional bodily harm, assault with intent to cause grievous bodily harm, assault at common law, possession of a firearm with intent to commit a first scheduled offense, and possession of a firearm with intent to cause injuries. Now, people have to understand that when you have a licensed firearm, this does not give you the right to use it indiscriminately. You have to think about your actions before you actually pull the firearm, especially on an innocent civilian. Now, might I warn you that he might even lose this firearm license based on his actions? You as a big 65 grey tone man, 65 years old, you would have lived your life. You would have seen so many things happening in our wonderful country of Jamaica. And then you in turn did this to a nurse? No, brother, something definitely wrong with you. And whether or not you were intoxicated or what, I don't care. This does not give you the right to treat a nurse in such a manner, and I hope that the law runs its due course on you. So these charges were laid yesterday, Saturday, May the 17th, and confirmed by the police, Deputy Superintendent Glendale Murdoch, Divisional Crime Officer for St. Andrew. Bell court date is to be finalized as well. His licensed firearm has also been seized by the authorities. I really don't have much more to say in relation to this case, but I'm just hoping that the nurse make a quick and speedy recovery and that the authorities let this individual feel the full brunt of the law based on his actions. This has been Links 007 TV. Let's talk. Thanks for watching.